let's see what Scarlett has in store as the game boots up.
Yep, we shall now be having our first player spawning up in the top left-hand corner here as our blue Terran. He's apparently named Beryl in this game, but don't be fooled, he is Marine KingPrime.
And down in the bottom right, it is everyone's favorite Canadian superstar Zerg. From Team Acer, it is Scarlett, going for a 9 Overlord, almost getting my heart rate going with a potential 9 pool, but goodness no, Scarlett is not going to be doing her Startail life impersonation.
No, no, no. Spreading the creep to our hearts. No, no, okay, I'll stop that. Anyway, so for now.
James Carroll.
God damn.
Oh, so smooth.
I must admit, I have a soft spot for Scarlett. It was weird because at BWC, I was like, wow, yeah, because we'd like talk on Skype. I was like, yeah, we're going to meet each other. That's pretty cool or whatever. And then like, we were just like both, I was just both shy because I'm just a shy person in general. She's a shy person in general. We were just like both shy. We just didn't really talk much. It was kind of weird, but it's all right. Next time we see each other, we'll be more comfortable and it'll be okay. But
James Carroll, shyness is a problem I have never had.
Really? Oh, okay. I
Being overly excited about things is a problem that I consistently have. In fact, my roommates always tease me that I like everything. I am like I have a goldfish level memory combined with a puppy level excitement. Like whenever my roommate makes potato leek soup, I'm like, Kyla, oh my god, this soup is so good. Please don't eat all of it. I have to have this soup. And she's like, Sean, I'm making 4 gallons. There's going to be extra soup. I'm like, don't eat it all. It's actually amazing. I put a Cholula in it.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sean. Your confidence is astounding. No, I jest. As for now, what do we have Mr. Marine KingPrime doing? He's making command center, and we have double barracks on the way behind that. No gases just yet. I'm anticipating some gases very soon. It's normally what he ends up doing. But the 2 barracks, as opposed to just 1 barracks, is really, really nice, just to forego any kind of craziness early on.
Yeah, it certainly lets you abate any early circling pressure, but I think more importantly, on a map that is small distance from expo to expo, and more importantly, narrow. There's not a lot of distance left and right to cover. Marines can control the space almost as effectively as Hellions can. So you can almost use the Marines as a replacement Hellions, and players like doing that a little more because Marines are used in the late game army, in the 2-2 timing push, whereas Hellions are not.
Yeah. Can be scary. And actually, you know, when coming back to what you were saying about that 7 to 13 minute mark, I saw a really, really kind of relatively new school of thought from a Zerg recently. It was Snoot going up against a Terran during our Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers. And it was basically him saying, I'm going to take a third really, really quickly. And I don't really care how many drones you're going to kill because I'm just going to make ridiculous amount of drones. And even though he lost like 20 or 30 early on, he was still 20 ahead because he was just constantly producing waves of 10, 11, 12 in quick succession. It was insane to watch.
And I mean, one of the, continuing along that, we're seeing players start to get not 1 but 2 macro hatches on 3 bases just to have enough Zergling production to hold off that mid-game push. Per usual, we're seeing Scarlett do the Zerg standard, which is to get the gases between 5 and 5:30, and this will be followed up by an expand close to 6 minutes. And assuming that you are excellent at defending against pressure and defraying any early threats, then you can quite straightforwardly get 1-1 Zergling speed, layer, third, all fast.
No. As for now, we will have extra command center on the way for Marine King. And Zergling's going to poke up here, and somebody rightly points out that, yes, Snoot did get owned in that series, but he had the potential to transition onwards. God.
Oh, man. Oh, that's so good. You know what some players are doing? A strategy that doesn't let them advance against Terran players.
But no, he had the potential to transition on, is what I want to say, and what is very, very right and accurate. So, but he's Lucifron, so I mean, what do you do? He's pretty good at those kind of things.
Okay, that actually is a little makes a good little bit more sense. Acer Scarlett, as we see again, getting the 2 Evo chambers, the 3rd base, the speed, and soon enough the layer, all in very rapid succession. And meanwhile, Marine King is not shy with his plans. He is already starting the 1-1 upgrade, and it's time to do a little bit of what I call maths. A level 1 is
Yeah.
160 seconds for the upgrade. Level 2 attack is 190 seconds. That's 350 seconds total, or in other words, just shy of 6 minutes. So if you start it at 7, as we're seeing Marine King Prime do, he can begin his push at 13 minutes with 2-2. Again, everything needs to be as powerful as possible in the 13-minute to 17-minute arena. So that's why we're seeing that early of engineering bay. It's not earlier upgrades are better. It's, haha, I have 2-2 at this specific time.
And I would also like to do some maths on my side of things for our Zergy player, Sean, in the form of how many creep tumors do we have active right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, and actually, this is already at the 8.5-minute mark, getting a little bit crazy because this is. Scarlett somehow finds a way to spread this so ridiculously fast, and it's getting out of hand already. So Marine King needs to do something. Actually, he needs to start containing with the Hellions, but they haven't even moved out yet, Sean.
And you know what's so fantastic about this creep spread from Scarlett's point of view is that even with this limited number of units, 6 Zerglings and 5 Queens, Scarlett can very comfortably defend against these kinds of pushes because all the Queens can easily maneuver to any location as fast as they need to, and any units that come out are going to be significantly more powerful.
Yeah. And I think also there's a slight disclaimer on the creep spread here that we're having, is that a map like Ohana is a fantastic map to spread creep on, like just ridiculously good, because there's no open high ground, low ground annoyances in the middle of the map. So this is one of the aspects that adds and attributes to this amazing, amazing creep spread that we're seeing here from Scarlett.
Now, this is really, really quite exceptional. 1-1. Already finishing up, 2-2, getting started. The question in my eyes is Marine King Prime going to have enough units to coincide with this 2-2? He has so few things.
I'm under the impression that he just kind of sees all this creep with the Hellions as in a little bit flabbergasted. I don't really... Because he can't move onto the creep with the Hellions. They just haven't actually breached any third locations. There's been one worker killed, and that was by Scarlett, guys. So... the Hellions really haven't paid for themselves just yet.
Gosh, look, I mean, you're already seeing Scarlett really power up hard with that gas timing. Already getting the geysers at the 3rd and 4th before they're even done. 7 infestors coming out, 2-2. Baneling speed, pathogen glands, all the things lining up right now. And in terms of that unit count, we're seeing 20 Marines out right now for MKP. He's going to be able to, in a moment, produce 9 at a time. But I don't actually know if that's going to get him as many Marines as when Bomber ends up doing this style of play.
And in terms of what we're actually seeing in this game, Day9, is it this creep spread? Does it allows Scarlett to take this 4th just relatively uncontested? Is that accurate in saying? I mean, I don't see Marine King being able to put any pressure on that right now.
You know, my internet blipped for a second, and I know you asked me a question, but I have no idea what that question was.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I was just talking about the creep spread allowing. Does it allow Scarlett to take that 3rd all the quicker? Because it's just so hard for him to pressure.
Absolutely. Yeah, the 3rd, the 4th, and we're seeing that this is now starting to define the attack paths. There's a very, very clear section where you see just to the left of that watchtower where Marine King Prime is basically claiming, I will be able to take this out. Sure, he's stimming and taking out the right path, but the creep is still there from Scarlett. Scarlett's food is just skyrocketing up 90 drones, as you were talking about, that Snoot-esque maneuver. And now Scarlett's going straight for the Broodlords. This is dangerous as hell. Extremely dangerous. But given the fact that the creep spread is this good, I think that Scarlett should be reasonably okay.
Yeah, especially on a map like Ohana, you have to be careful transitioning onto Broodlords that quickly. It's easy for Terrans to, well, I mean, once the creep's gone, it can be easy for Terrans to try and put on some pressure from the ground, and with that, you sometimes need those Ultralisks out pretty quickly to try and deal with those kinds of initiatives from the Terran.
Now, this is something that's a little disappointing about this build that we see out of Marine King Prime. Even though he got up the mega fast upgrades, he has only 33 Marines. Bomber, at this point in time, is maxed with 75 Marines and 2-2. So, I mean, you're already seeing that part of the optimization of this timing attack is not just getting the upgrades super fast, it's about getting units to go along with those upgrades super fast as well. And we're seeing Scarlett has already spread the creep well up into the 4th base. Marine King is even scared to move out, and all the delay tactics for Scarlett are working out just perfectly. Perfect.
Yeah, it's not about killing Marine King here at all. Scarlett's avoiding engagements, guys. She's not going to take too much here. Maybe if she can catch a few Marines at the front, then that's great. She'll land some fungals and then kill those off. But behind this, she's getting 3-3. She's getting adrenal glands. She's getting those corruptors out to prepare for those broodlords. And if you can find a way right now in which the Terran can put on some pressure without having to clear up all of this creep and walk somehow through a minefield of fungals, then maybe Marine King can shut down these broodlords, but not right now.
And look at this. Marine King tries to send over a couple of Marines to pick off these queens, but no dice. The creep spread too good. Zerglings can easily swap back and forth. 5th base down now for Scarlett. We're seeing 8 broodlords in production, and that is some scary fast broodlords. 1530. I mean, Marine King Prime is very nearly dead in the water. He has an increasingly closing window.
And look at this. This is another thing I talked about before. Marine King always, without scouting out anything. You've got to remember, all Marine King's seen right now is his opponent's main command center and his opponent's natural and main base. Basically, he hasn't seen any tech, so he mixes in Marauders to try and deal with all of this. But it just doesn't work here because Broodlords are out, and that's really hard for him to sort out.
I mean, this is honestly a huge shock to a Terran player to be moving out right now and then to go, oh, there's Broodlords. And we sort of see that response back home as 3 starports go down. 3-3 will be done for Marine King in a little bit, but I mean, it's not quite as nice as you'd like. And if you look at the Scarlett vision cam, Scarlett sees absolutely everything. Here's the push that Marine King was poised to do all game long, but the creep spread from Scarlett is getting even close into Marine King's main.
And as I said before, I'm pretty sure that Marine King here is not just making these 3 starports for Vikings. He's going to go for the Ravens, like I was talking about before.
Yeah.
It's I've sort of predicted everything Marine King's going to do, but it's because I've seen a lot of his games on Ohana, and he does not deviate from this strategy, guys, against Zerg. He just does not. And with the Sensor Tower, he's going to be able to keep a good eye on his opponents if Scarlett's going to push his 4th, but it's all going to be about Scarlett pushing down that left-hand side for now.
There's that orbital command that's floating at the left side, now under duress from Corruptor.
Oh, wow.
But Marine King is still forcing things back a little bit.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, actually, Marine King is going for... Oh, never mind. Zerglings are going to flood in here. Marine King's going to take the engagement. Fungals across the entire Terran army.
Oh, my God. Storming in, infested Terrans, fungal growths. Supply for Scarlett barely drops below 200. Marine King Prime just gets smoked with his 3-3 upgrades. Oh, this is so gross to watch.
I mean, Scarlett retained a lot of her infestors as well. And actually, you know, Marine King is actually deviating. He's just going exclusively 8 Vikings at a time to try and deal with this. He's actually not going for the Ravens. He realizes he can't get that without actually taking a lot of damage in the process. So he has to get all of those Vikings out now, along with this bio support, to try and deal with this. But Scarlett is barreling down on this 4th, and if she wants to, I think she could kill it.
Gosh, I mean... Marine King Prime has been able to put on literally 0 pressure all game long.
Yeah.
You know, some due to Scarlett, but largely due to his own selection of builds. And we're seeing that, you know, maybe if your opponent is a little bit slower or overreacts to what you're doing, you might be able to be in a good spot as Marine King Prime, but Scarlett is just not going to let that fly. Just says, all right, sweet, you're not attacking me. All right, I'm going to take 5 bases and get 15-minute Broodlords, if that's cool with you. And now we're seeing the army add on 15 Banelings. 2 Spires are up right now with Flyer Attack and Flyer Strike getting upgraded. I mean, this is incredible.
I mean, Sean, when going into a TVZ, how often do you see a Terran that has killed no workers against a Zerg? It's 0 workers to 11 workers killed for Scarlett.
And if you actually go to the Units Lost tab, it's only 10k from Marine King Prime. I mean, it's been 1 engagement. There's really just not that much that's gone on, save for that 1 attack. Scarlett's just punishing this beautifully. And even look at the left side. Creep is still spreading. On that control group 0 for Scarlett, she has that queen eagerly dropping more creep tumors.
Wow. Just taking a lot of precautions here, making sure that every single avenue will be covered. Even getting that creep going, once again, as you point out, just allows for extra defensive situations if your opponent, if your army is not able to vanquish them. Has to be very careful. Lands a fungal on actually some of these Vikings here. Another fungal on a ton of those Vikings. They're very clumped up. All these chain fungals come down. So many corruptors. If those Vikings die off, those Broodlords are going to have full reign, but it doesn't matter. The Broodlords and the Banelings clean up everything on the ground.
Holy cow. I mean, well,
there you go.
good game.
Oh
Scarlett decimates Marine King Prime in game number 1.